On a crisp winter's morning, there's no more beautiful sight in northern India than Amritsar's Golden Temple.
Sant jana mil har jas gayo kot janam.
This is the holiest shrine for Punjab's estimated 14 million Sikhs and millions more around the world. It's a tranquil and welcoming place of worship. Jagbir Singh is a devout Sikh. His faith sustains him, but his shattered life and what he terms the destruction of his family is irrevocably linked to the temple's recent history. In 1984, the shrine became a battleground. The Indian Army attacked in force to destroy armed Sikh militants fighting for an independent state they called Khalistan. Hundreds were killed. It marked the beginning of a 10-year campaign by the Indian government and the government of Punjab to crush the insurgency. The militants had paralysed the state with a campaign of murder, bombings and kidnapping.
Terror was palpable. You could feel it in the air. You could feel it in the eyes of the people.
Over the next decade, the Punjab police killed thousands of militants. An estimated 1,800 police died in the counter-insurgency campaign, and many thousands of innocent civilians also lost their lives. Tonight we examine the aftermath of the campaign and what happens when the world's largest democracy turns its back on the rule of law.
The evidence shows a systemic pattern of abduction, killing, torture and elimination and disappearance.
Most of the police officers are illiterate. They don't know anything about law. All they know how to kill or beat people, and that's all.
We reveal how the Punjab police illegally cremated more than 2,000 unidentified bodies. And there are serious questions raised about India's legal and judicial system and its ability to deliver justice.
I would say that the system doesn't really function. The police don't function. They simply they act in a whimsical and arbitrary manner. The courts don't function. They also act in a whimsical and arbitrary manner.
Our story begins in December 1991. It's 7 years after the war against the Sikh militants began, and 2 more people are about to disappear after being taken into police custody. A man the police describe as a known militant is waiting on one of Amritsar's main streets looking for a lift. He flags down Kulwinder Singh, 35 years old and married with 3 children. The relationship, if any, between the 2 men is not known. But before they've travelled far, they are stopped by police and taken here to the local Sadar police station. That night, the militant is killed in what's known in India as a fake encounter, where police fabricate a shootout with terror suspects.
My evidence is, I say that in majority of the cases, the so-called encounters were faked. People were taken into custody, killed, and then explained away as deaths in encounters.
And for Kulwinder Singh and his family, a nightmare begins. Jagbir is Kulwinder's brother. That's Kulwinder again on the left of this photo, and their father, Ajaib, on the right. Jagbir and his father, Ajaib, rushed to the police station when they heard of Kulwinder's detention and were told he'd be released after interrogation. Soon after, Kulwinder was brought here to the family house by police when they conducted a search, but was not allowed to speak.
मेरे माता जी दुध लेके आ रहे थे उन्होंने ने आवाज मारी आ गड्डी दे विचों बीजी ते लेकिन पुलिस वाले मुड़ के उन्होंने वो तान दिंदे मूँह बंद दिंदे सीगे मूँह बंद दिंदे सीगे मुड़ के लै गए छेती गड्डियां भजा के ले किसी से मिलने नहीं दिया उन्होंने.
Jagbir works for the Sikh administration at the Golden Temple. On this day, though, he's been seconded to work at the nearby Temple of Martyrs, taking money for offerings. Aside from their religious involvement in the community, Jagbir's father, Ajaib, was the head of his village council, a position of some power and responsibility, but that meant nothing to the police. The inspector who arrested Kulwinder demanded the equivalent of $6,000 Australian for his release, more than the family could afford.
हफ्ता 10 दिन लंघ गए जी 8 दिन हफ्ता 1 दिन लंघ गए सैमंडे तो उन्होंने 1.5 लाख रुपए में हर बात हुई 1.5 लाख रुपए में 1.5 लाख की साढ़े कोल अरेंजमेंट ना हो सकिया जी तो असीं एक दिन खलो के देना ਸੀ ਇਹਨੂੰ.
Right now, I have completed my investigations in 1,500 cases. And I can say in hundreds of these cases, I have seen evidence when the police demanded bribes, huge amounts of money, few 100,000 rupees at a time, which normally people cannot just afford. And they were doing it quite openly, quite shamelessly. Sometimes they collected money even when they were in no position to release the person. I have seen evidence when they asked for money, got the money, and the person was not released. Probably they had already killed him.
Ram Kumar, author and human rights activist, has documented the Kulwinder Singh case and hundreds more like it. He leads a small human rights group called the Committee for the Coordination of Disappearances in Punjab, the CCDP. He's taken this train ride from Delhi to Amritsar countless times as he fights for justice for the relatives of the disappeared. It's a journey that's also taken him to the highest courts in the land.
So you see, our work is pretty difficult, but we have persisted. We have persisted over the years and have been able to gather evidence of substantial nature.
The family sent urgent telegrams about Kulwinder's detention to Punjab's Governor, the Director General of Police, the Chief Secretary and Chief Justice of the State High Court. These were followed with lengthy petitions, all to no avail. Then junior police told the family that Kulwinder was being severely tortured, ostensibly to force him to reveal the identity of militants.
Apart from those who disappeared, relatives were very often tortured, especially fathers, mothers, sisters, wives, children. And from their accounts, I cannot overstate the brutality of the torture.
In early 1993, after an approach to India's Home Affairs Minister, a message was passed on to the family from the police that Kulwinder had been killed. To this day, no reason for his death has been given by the police and no mortal remains provided. 10 years on, Kulwinder's wife has only memories of her husband.
बहुत अच्छे से, very nice, बहुत ही अच्छे. उन्होंने याद जड़ी है ना हुण मिस होंगी.
माँ बाप और बहन भाइयों का भी काम सारा उसके सिर पर ही चलता था. भाइयों के घर का भी खर्चा उनके सिर पर ही चलता था. उसके बाप और माँ की संभाल करने वाला, देखने वाला वही था.